and we can get some Hummel kits, or someone other than Nike, because we've got another year of a template.
Nike catching strays today. Nike, if you're listening, we would like a sponsor. Don't listen to any of these guys.
You're wearing a Hummel shirt, Aaron.
Never mind.
Also, not the French team that you work for.
Yeah.
Double never mind.
Little tiny things that let you know more about the players. Obviously, it would only really work for regens because of the same reason that players can't have negative personalities until they're regens. But little things like that, I think it would just be really cool to give your players more of a personality. In the same way that your player can miss training because he was caught at a nightclub. That's in the game. Why can't that player then get a negative hit to other factors in his life because of that, right? I feel like that would be quite funny if that's something you can do, to just have that as an additional mechanic. I know there's a lot of limitations with it, but it's the sort of thing I think would be really fun for long-term saves, just to have that extra kind of story building and world building available to you.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the FM show. I'm of course your host Tony Jameson, joined as always by the one and only RDF Tactics aka Aaron Falloon. We also have with us the wonderful Maggio, and I'm not sure if we've officially announced this yet or not before, but we have either a soft launch or a hard launch depending on your persuasion. We're going to welcome second yellow card to not just the show but the FM show podcast team. Matt, how are you, pal? Welcome aboard.
I am terrific. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent stuff. And you know what? We're glad to have you as well. I appreciate, obviously, you filled in for me recently when I was away, and we got loads of positive feedback whenever you're on the show. So we wanted to get that locked in. And we should say as well, we did a bit of a soft launch, Si, because you posted this up on the Instagram earlier on in the week. And there was a little sort of touch and reference to the fact that you're part of the team, Matt, with we're talking about why Callum's charity match in Slough. Callum's doing a charity match for Mind. Aaron will play at some point when he remembers what date it is, and it's not yesterday, Aaron, so you get away with that. That's fine. But the rest of the team are all part of that. So yeah, we'll put the links in the description below for that. So yeah, so this is now the official launch, we believe, of Second Yellow Card as part of the team. So it's a pleasure having you in. Fellas, how are we as well? Si, Aaron, what's been going down?
Who do you want to go first?
I'm hot. But I can't complain too much because I do have a cup of tea here, so... But I'm hot. If you know me, I just can't. I'm the sort of person, right? I'll be travelling long hours, sweating, get inside. The first thing, take the jacket off, put the kettle on. That's just, I don't know.
You could not be more English, could you?
I don't think I can.
You're going to have like a peach tea or something.
Oh, no, it is
Iced
breakfast tea.
Breakfast tea?
No, yeah.
I mean, it's evening as well.
We're calling this at 20 to 10 in the evening, Aaron. You'll be wide awake for
this is
an
decaf.
entire
So
day.
I've got it all sorted. I've got the decaf and the normal caffeine.
Caffeinated.
Can I have one of those normal calf coffees, please?
Generally, yeah, it does. Because sometimes you go into like the bougie, that upper class coffee shops, and it's not just tea. It's like, can I have a tea? It's like, they're like, which tea do you want? And then like breakfast tea, this tea. I'm like, just a cup of tea. I don't know, the one you put the milk in. Just that one.
You know what, right? I know we're potentially going off on an early doors tangent at this point already, but I would love to see the documentary of Aaron in what he has just called an upper class coffee shop. Like, I want to see that. Cafe Nero, what?
Just a lad there fiddling.
Oh, my days. I might do that. Just have a tea reaction video. Just going around different places in UK.
That's a channel. I mean, if they don't bring out a new game, you're going to have to niche out. So
call it T-pose.
Oh, nice.
RDF Tactics.
Just don't give Don't give me ideas. Don't give me ideas.
We might need them, Aaron. We might need them.
Well, I guess we can get onto that. It's what, like mid-July, and we've heard nothing so far. Like, I don't think we hear anything normally till September, right? But some people are definitely getting antsy. There's a little bit of unrest in the community, I feel.
There is. I thought it had gone away. I mean, well, I've not had as much of it as what I'm basically putting that down to. But then it does feel like recently streaming videos, TikTok, it's all like, have we heard any news yet? Do we know what's coming out? Yeah, I just want to play a new game. I'm desperate for news, me. And it just, it feels like it's ramping up. And I don't know whether it's the heat that's making people a bit more aggy or not. But I mean, what do you boys think? I mean, are you getting it as much as we're probably getting more than I am, to be honest, on your channels? But yeah, where's your viewership and audience at?
I think everyone's just kind of, for me, it's just everyone's kind of just enjoying things. But I think you're right about the heat. It's like, I think sometimes people just need to calm down, have picky bits for dinner, and stop worrying about FM, like, because it's too hot to worry right now. Or have a cup of tea, maybe.
Do you think also, because it's pre-season, so it's that time people are making transfers happening in real life football, so it's just like, okay, I really want to be my team of Football Manager, and I'll start making these transfers as well. So possibly a bit of that as well.
I think that's it. I think that's when it hits home, isn't it? Like, because when you then go, right, if I was to start a new save now with the vanilla database without any of the downloadable updates you can get, I would be starting with a 2023 squad, and it's like, right, we are 2 years removed now. We've had 2 sets of promotions and relegations that you could work through technically. So at that point, I guess, if all that's happening in real life, interesting transfers are happening. Those fans of those clubs are going, oh, I might want to play with those players now. I mean, we could even say, Sunderland would be in the Premier League. There'll be loads of Sunderland fans want to play with Sunderland in the Premier League. There'll be loads of fans of teams who've been relegated. They'll be going, right now, it's time to rebuild them, get them back up, So, I guess there is that. There's all the fresh potential stories side of where football is now and what people want to do with that, and they can't physically do it the way they want to do it.
Well, I think one of the really cool things, and I'm going to steal this from out of context FM, but
well, I mean, he's made a career of it. So
how the turns tables.
I think it was him who mentioned it. That Naipan has joined Manchester City, and he's like, well, that's every Wonder Kid now signed for a big club. Every Foot Manager 2024 for Wonder Kid. Well, apart from Makoku, who's gone from being FM24 Wonder Kid and back down again, he's down the other side, into the released and into the Danish league, I think, is it? Is he gone to Copenhagen?
The problem is all these Wonder Kids are now all 37, so
the Wonder Kids have got Wonder Kids.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, we've gone a complete cycle, and everyone's going, well, who's going to be the Wonder Kids? And I said, well, 2 years ago, these people were. Anyone from that 2 year period now can pretty much be it. Matt, I mean, what's your thoughts then? Where are you at with it?
It's strange. Like, I think before, maybe sort of December kind of time, I would have been like, yeah, okay, I just need something new. But I'm just really enjoying my FN24 save at this point, to the point where I'm like, I kind of like to finish that before we kick on with anything else. I mean, but then I'm not the sort of person that relies on updated databases and squads and stuff, because I'm managing so low that by the time I'm seeing any of these real players, Lamine Yamal's just retired in my save. I mean, it's like I would never have got a chance to sign these players anyway. I think we're going to start seeing real life regens at this rate. Like actual players in real life will just start regenerating because that's how long it's been. But I think it's now that, as you say, it's pre-season. I think, like you say, people want to make the transfers of their clubs. I feel a bit bad for Ipswich fans, especially. Like they've literally missed out on the opportunity to have their team in the Premier League in FM. It's gone up, they've gone down, and nothing's happened in the meantime. It's like it never happened. Basically, it's like Groundhog Day. It's like the opposite of Groundhog Day.
It wasn't real.
If you're a Luton fan, though, your quid's in. You're still in the Premier League. You're not down in League One.
True.
That's true.
Also, as well, there's an entire year of kits that you've not actually seen as well, potentially. Yeah. So, I thought about this the other day. We started our journeyman save a while ago, but I had this thinking in my head, and I was like, I wonder what it was. And I was just getting some new kits because we moved into Sweden from Poland. So I said, I'll just double check I've got all the up-to-date kits for Sweden, put them in. And I was like, actually, all my Sunderland kits are out of date. I hadn't even put the first Hummel kits back in. We're on a new set now. So I was like, oh no, I've not had a play with those kits in. So I felt a bit sad at that point.
I like that you had a moral panic about that. You just didn't see the Sunderland kit. You could see the real one though, right? Are you even own the real one?
I've got all three, but there is that. But then I was like, it was a weird part of me that just went, the last time I managed Sunderland, they had Nike shirts. So that is 2023. And you're right, they've just gone through the playoff final, and there's loads of people, of course, will be doing Sunderland saves next year for them in the Premier League, and them spending lots of money, and how's it going to work? And I was like, oh, that would be really interesting. And then, like I said, just I completely there's an entire, as you said, it's when you then realise there's an entire season that's just passed before our eyes.
Or you could be a gooner and everything's just the exact same.
Same.
Just second same. Which is the exact same.
I want them to fast forward Pompey kits from Night to Hummel. That would be good. So if we could skip another year and we can get some Hummel kits or someone other than Nike, because we've got another year of a template.
Nike catching strays today. Nike, if you're listening, we would like a sponsor. Don't listen to any of these guys.
You're wearing a Hummel shirt, Aaron.
Never mind.
Also, not the French team that you work for.
Yeah.
Double never mind.
Right. Hummel, if you're listening, we do want a sponsorship.
Yeah, definitely. Nice kits, those guys.
So I take it then, therefore, if we're still, as you say, we're middle of July, we still don't really know what's happening. There's nothing's being said. Do we start the wheel? Do we start cranking up the wish list and go like, ooh, I wonder what I'd like? Do we start just like throwing some ideas around? I mean,
why? I've done a video.
Scared, man.
I've done a video.
I did do a video. I did. I've done 2 videos recently. I'm an influencer now. So
you've become the thing you hate the most.
I have.
You've become one of them guys.
Matt, have you done a wish list yet? Or are you still finding strange things in the game?
That's just what I do. I mine for the crazy and the ridiculous, and then maybe they'll put some more lovely bugs in that I can then exploit for the next 2 years. But I don't know, for a wish list, I always have the same wish list every year mostly, because most of the things I want never get put in the game, so I can pretty much guarantee that if you ask me in a year's time, I'll probably give you the same answers.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, let's pin all of yours then as the pinned comment. So do you want to go? Do you want to take it away for a starter?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is again like immersion stuff that really only matter. Obviously, it doesn't just matter to me, but I feel like it's not something that the core audience probably is going to give two damns about. But for me, it's things like, I just wish there was more stuff that enabled the storytelling and the world building in saves to keep them fresh and interesting, which is why I've always wanted an additional mechanic like an injury, but they are lifetime events that can affect players, both positive and negative. So it would mostly affect things like the player's morale, but it could be things as simple as the player having a baby or something, and therefore getting a morale boost temporarily as a result of things like that, or the little tiny things that let you know more about the players. Obviously, it would only really work for regens because of the same reason that players can't have negative personalities until they're regens. But little things like that, I think it would just be really cool to give your players more of a personality. In the same way that your player can miss training because he was caught at a nightclub. That's in the game. Why can't that player then get a negative hit to other factors in his life because of that, right? I feel like that would be quite funny if that's something you can do, to just have that as an additional mechanic. I know there's a lot of limitations with it, but it's the sort of thing I think would be really fun for long-term saves, just to have that extra kind of story building and world building available to you.
Yeah,
I feel
like that's like top of my wish list.
I think as parents are sitting nodding, going, "Yeah."
Like I did my wish list the other day, and like number one for me was basically the same thing. Like I call it like, I don't know, dynamic storytelling. It probably doesn't have the dynamic. Yeah. That's just a fancy word.
Careful,
make
dynamic.
it sound cool, right? Or like micro stories that happen within the season. Like they have to have like a minuscule or even like a placebo impact. And I was thinking about some. I think I said some the other week, like a player gets invited to do a shampoo commercial, or
great hair
like,
all of a sudden.
or like the team captain. So the team captain wants to hold a darts night for like team morale, but on the darts night he throws. If like one of the other players gets hit in the hand with a dart, is out for an afternoon of training, and those two players now have beef for a week until you call them both into the office and resolve it. Right?
The social
it could be
groups,
anything like that.
Even
that's
just
it.
Like,
But
even
it could
just
be
like
fixed,
a rash
like,
tackle in training,
easy.
like one of the players has gone in hard, and then all of a sudden it's like spilt over a little bit.
It's kicks off.
That's it. Your star striker wants to propose to his girlfriend, but he doesn't know how to go about it. He wants a little bit of time off to do it, and he doesn't know how to go about it. You can just say, yeah, take the time off. Or you can say, yeah, take the time off and take it to a fancy restaurant. Or, yeah, take the time off, do it in an NBA game. And depending on which one you suggest, and maybe his attributes, depends on how it goes. And then if it goes badly, maybe he blames you.
Or it turns out his wife was shagging the goalkeeper. Morale is going down.
Or the CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
Wow.
I'm sick of that meme, but I just had to chuck it in there. It'll be 2 weeks. Everyone will be out of date by the time
your
the episode comes out.
chairperson wants to attend a Coldplay concert.
With your head of youth recruitment.
I hate myself now because I was sick of that already. It's only been a day, but
you've contributed to it now.
I know.
But you could even have as well, if you go with that sort of like that dynamic storytelling, you could have players becoming like too big for their boots, and they become like these sort of like superstar iconic players, and it can rub off on the dressing room, that going, he's always out and about, he's bringing negative attention, unwanted attention, because these things do of course happen. And I guess, if you're saying there about having kids or whatever, maybe like fatigue could sort of like crop in a little bit. Aaron, we've all had this bad restless nights because of kids and stuff, travels up, or, relationships break down. Those players then have negative effect in terms of performance on the pitch. There could be all kinds of stuff like that, which I think would be really, really interesting. But again, it can happen in the world because it happens with new gens. So even if you just let it run slowly and only have it as a new gen filter, then yeah, I'd be all for that.
So I think that it's sort of in the game, right? So the personality can rub off, and like certain hidden attributes can rub off on certain players, but it doesn't like contribute to a storytelling situation. It's just like
sort of just
he's gone from balanced to spirited.
Yeah.
And then and that's about it. So it doesn't really feel like it's had an effect in the game. And it's just something like, it's one of those things, right? Like when you do your training and your staff, you're always striving for the green bars. It's just like, if you've got a player with balanced mentality, you're like, well, I just want to change that. I don't know. He's not really going to have an effect. I just don't like balance. I just want to change it to spirited just for, it looks better for me. That's all it, but it doesn't really have an effect. Like there's no specific reason I want him to be a professional personality or have a spirited personality. That's it.
I like that. You could even have one of your players turns up on stage with a band at the end of the season to play with because wasn't it Patrick Bamford turned up at Leeds to play with the Kaiser Chiefs or something.
Wow.
So you could just have that going, he turns up and plays one song. Again, morale boost possibly, could be linked to additional season tickets. I don't know, right? Honestly, we're reaching this stage now.
No, I want a Ferguson Wenger like rivalry with another manager. Like, just get me into it. Like, but it's got to be more intense than the game makes it right now, right?
There must be a reason why they've taken that out of the game, because those things were in the game, right? You could like have disliking comments towards the manager before the game.
Yeah,
but go further though. We mentioned this when we had Jamie Hutchinson on the show, and have things like last minute in the match, right? So say it's derby match, okay, and you've managed to either get a last minute equaliser or you've gone and won, and it's at the opposition ground, so you're the away team. There should be a little thing that just flashes up at the bottom of the screen that allows you to do something stupid, like either it's like beat your chest, like sort of give it to the crowd, or do the Mourinho sprinting down the touchline, like, refuse to shake the hand of the opposition manager, like all that stuff to create that proper rivalry.
Like
that's the things that should be in there.
Press X now to punch the opposition manager.
Yeah, like a keyboard combination player, like to press, like he's got to go Alan Pardew on him.
yeah. I mean, it happens. Like, it's literally just happened in football in the biggest game this year. Maybe not ever.
No, the biggest game this summer.
How you feel about
it's one of those things, right? Like, as you're saying that, as storytelling, I think there should be prompts that trigger these things automatically. And I think we spoke about it before, like, just get rid of the attributes. I don't think your manager should have attributes. Like, you should have that sort of thing where you're a personality, and then as the story goes on, these things just naturally happen. Like, obviously maybe not have a press X button, but it just happens because that's who you are, sort of thing. And whatever the consequences happens, that's the consequences from the options that you chose at the beginning of the game.
No,
you go to a job interview, but they ask you about the time you punched the opposition chairman.
Yeah.
That's the
It'd be a lot better than saying, why don't you play for set pieces?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you breached FFP once 25 years ago. Is that going to be a problem again? No,
it seems
probably
you
not.
Punched a horse outside St James's Park. Is there a reason for this?
We're coming across as incredibly violent today.
Okay, well let's.
I mean, I've got a black eye,
then.
but I don't know if that's not related. I
horse
haven't been
won.
punching. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think a horse would probably kill me. To be fair, I'm not fighting horses.
Shetland pony.
I don't think I can fight a Shetland pony. I'm about the same height.
I mean, again, if
one
we're looking
gorilla
for
or 100 Shetland ponies.
if we're looking for alternative careers, if Aaron's going down the tea route, it's just side just turning trying to fight various animals that are small. Like, hello, I'm Simon Maggio. Welcome to my channel where I fight a Shetland pony.
I did ask on your channel the other day, Tony, what animal would be the best at football? Just to be super annoying in your chat, really, but you know. I can't remember what the answer was.
It would have just been swallowed up with the other nonsense we talk on my channel. That wouldn't have looked out of place. That's just too sensible a question.
Kangaroo would be a good go, I reckon.
Kangaroo.
Goalkeeper, maybe?
You see, I'm going out there and I'm going human, but you know, each to your own.
Nah. Have you seen some humans? Have you want to see some humans? Come to the Slough charity match.
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome animals. Yeah.
I will be playing football like an antelope. A lot of running and not very good kicking.
I'll be max effort with no technique.
It's August 16th.
I'm like a slug. There'll be a trail that's left behind me.
Slug trail.
Wow.
People just slipping over.
Yeah.
Just got a ring of salt around me in the penalty area going, I'm not
Is that
moving.
a penalty
I'm not
though if
moving.
they fall over the slime trail?
Well, I don't know.
It's like leaving a leg out.
That's for the referees to decide.
Yeah, definitely a penalty.
Well, we've already gone off topic. Do we want this all in Football Manager? Animals?
Yeah. I want animals to replace players.
I mean, if someone's
Manager.
out there and wants to make an alternative football management game, but doesn't want to have to do with licensing, just put animals in the game.
That's true.
There you go.
That's true. Well, people have already changed the match engine. Just change the characters as well. Go right. We've got rid of humans. We're going to put animals in. In fact, you know
I'd
what?
be interested.
Do it. That's the WWF 26. That's what I want to see. I want to see you either manage a zoo, right? Actually, no. This is essentially Zoo Simulator, isn't it? Really?
Zoo Tycoon.
Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Fine. What leagues? Literally like a Rolodex now going, right, yeah, we move on.
I think those story things have got to be small enough that they don't take away from the game too much. And I don't want them to show up there's got to be like enough of them that they don't show up too frequently, right?
Yeah.
So if you had, I reckon if you had 100 of them, you wouldn't see anyone and you wouldn't see anyone more than once in a save. That would be yeah.
Well, it's like the weird injuries that your players can get. There's a big list of them on the internet of these really, really obscure. The injuries are actually normal, but it's the reasons why the player is injured. There's a big list of them in the game, and some of them I've only witnessed a few of them. Like I had one which was a freak domestic accident. You can read whatever you think into that. But the one that I had, which was my favourite one, was where a player hurt his shoulder falling out of a loft. And I have the screenshots and everything. It was a real thing, and there's a big list of them on the internet, but they're so rare. Oh, I had another one with a golf buggy accident. Mm-hmm. Those were the three that I've seen, but they do exist out there, but they're so rare. And I'm just like, just that, but like a little bit more frequently.
Yeah. The golf buggy one makes sense as well.
Yeah, exactly. Players play a lot of golf.
Yeah.
That's right. Your one, your striker has ran over himself with his own car, and an unrelated event has a 2-year ban as well. May or may not have been taking drugs at the same time.
Your goalkeeper has dropped an aftershave bottle on his leg. Things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your goalkeeper has scalded his hand making tea in the summer.
That's true. Was that Aaron? Was it Aaron?
That was Aaron.
Was it breakfast tea?
Yeah,
you are a goalkeeper as well, aren't you, Aaron?
I was thinking, what was all these shots of goalkeepers for?
What's all these shots of goalkeepers? Yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to say them.
Kicking the ball at me for? This doesn't seem fair.
What's this net for? Fishing?
Right. Anything? Where else have we got then? So we've got freak injuries.
I'd like to go fishing on my day off. On Football Manager.
Oh, you spend your manager's money while you do it.
Fishing mini game, please. Like every other game.
Stardew Valley.
Final Fantasy fishing minigame, Stardew Valley fishing minigame, GTA fishing minigame. Where is it in Football Manager, huh?
Do you want microtransactions? Oh, yeah. Do you want microtransactions as well?
You can fish on a river, you know. You don't have to fish in the sea.
Never see it. Can't be done.
Or a lake.
I definitely didn't run past a load of people fishing in a river 12 hours ago.
I've seen people fishing in ponds, namely gnomes, but you know.
Wow. Jeez.
To our international viewers, we're currently in the middle of a UK heat wave. This is why today's episode is a little bit wavy. Right?
It's 10 o'clock at night. It's 25 degrees still.
Yeah. Aaron, anything beyond going fishing?
I don't know. So in FM24, I've started using the director of football. I've never really used it before, so I've just started to use it. And there's like this little function, right, where you can create your transfer target. So you can create a group, like as just a striker group, and then you can just put strikers in there as your targets. And you've got like the number ones, obviously, go for him first, number two, second, third. And I just thought that was pretty cool. So then what it stopped me from doing is just like, oh, I want that player, I'm just going to go and get him, because that's the freedom you have in Football Manager, rather than having that difficulty. I was like, I might not get my number one or number two even. And then you just have fun. So like in my Monaco save, Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free transfer, he was our third choice. And it turns out it was probably like the best choice out of them all. But we would never have got him if we just went and got who we wanted in the beginning. And I think it just adds a little bit more spice in the game. And previously I've criticised that mode, saying that it doesn't really have intelligence, when there's actually some intelligence involved. So if I just bought someone, or he's bought someone, I'm like, now get another midfielder. He's just like, now we've just bought someone. And then, but he matches their quality. So like, we've bought someone who's just as good. So there's like no point doing this. Or one time, or a couple of occasions, it's like, he's asking for too much, but I'm not going to turn it down. You have the choice to either negotiate or you can walk away from the deal. And so, those sort of things like that. And I just thought maybe in FM26 there could be better engagement with your director of football. I just think, director of football is so like, everyone knows about them in football right now. So if they want to simulate what's happening in real life, then I think the director of football's got to somehow be more involved in what you're doing in the game. By choice. You don't have to use a director of football and Football Manager, but I think for those who do want to use it, they should have some sort of purpose in the game.
I was thinking about something similar the other day. You know when you're like after a player, and it could be, or you send your director of football after a player. It is very much because you could send your director of football to do it. You don't really have like you show up. You can make promises, but but it's all based on your reputation as to whether they want to sign. Whereas really what you want is you want to go in with a pitch deck for like, this is what we want to do. This is what this is our vision. Yeah. This is our club vision, right? This is our club. This is my vision as a manager. This is our vision as a club. You know, maybe this is starting to sound a bit corporate. I'm going to show up with a PowerPoint with like each bullet point slowly slides into the screen, letter by letter, because it's got to be cool, old school, 1996. So yeah, it would be like, qualify for Champions League. But I don't know how to make it a promise. It's just a vision, right? You know, that we'll do this, we'll do this. It'd be like, and this is how you fit in. And like, I sort of want that as I guess that is what the promises thing is, but I sort of want it more as like a conversation. And
that was a playing time pathway, but like more concrete, but also at the same time less concrete, I guess.
I don't want it as a promise.
Probably more conversational as well. Like you're pitching an idea, especially if it's a top target, right? Like you're pitching an idea. Why should you? Because the player decides on reputation, right? On a number. Whereas I think now a player, if you decided between me and Real Madrid, I should be able to pitch something to him that could be more tasty towards tasty for him to accept the offer.
Like a low probability dice roll or something that's rarely going to go in your favour, but it can. Like when you roll a nat 20.
Yeah.
Well, let's add to that then, right? So let's add that. Let's say that exists, okay, and you're pitching to a player to convince them to come to you. And we know it happens that some players will pick managers over clubs because they want to work with that manager. How about you have to pitch your philosophy in a job interview as well as a manager? Because again, we get these really sort of like short questions on the job interview. They never ask you about how you want to play and you can then sort of like add a bit more, because sometimes it says things like, oh, we've declined because you haven't scored enough from set pieces and you don't make that a big deal, or you don't sort of like, you know, you play free flowing football, but it might not fit here. Like, I feel as though you should be able to offer your vision of how you fit into the club. And again, that could be the deciding factor for the job interview.
It should be like a soft vision, not a promise, though. If you were really doing something different when you showed up in the boarding and go, "Hey, this isn't really what you proposed to us," but like they're not going to sack you if just because you're not doing enough set pieces when you are doing everything else, right?
Yeah. I like that idea because obviously if it's ridiculous to the point where you've rocked up and said, hey, we're going to play Route 1 football, but in actuality you've installed like tennis courts where the pitch was and things like that, then they're going to be like, whoa, like step back a second there, buddy. But yeah, I see what you mean though, because it's like, it needs to be almost like a promise that's kind of got a lot more boundaries on it that are like way further away, that you've got way more wiggle room within it. Though it's kind of like, I'm still sort of doing that.
Well,
like that's still my vision. Just doesn't mean we're not. It's not happening, or like
my vision has changed,
this is working instead. Like, I want to change it. Be like, actually, we don't need to do set pieces because we're scoring 50 open goal games.
Again, what about this? Sorry, but this could go because I think it's in the game, but it's not, and it's something that they can build on. So at the beginning of the game, you can pick your preferred formation, your preferred style of football, and I just think like, going back to having this personality, if you've got this personality about you, like Pep Guardiola, right? He doesn't have to go somewhere and pitch his ideas because we know what he likes to do. So it's more like we're bringing you in for that, and then if you're not obviously doing that, then they can raise questions. But there can be more dialogue with your owners and your director of football. So your owners. So, I don't know. I was just going to have a little dig at Manchester United, but I'm not going to. I'll just pull it out there. But so you know that you might have an idea when you walk into a club, and then when you get to the club, you try it, it doesn't work, and you realise it doesn't work. And to get the best out of your players, you have to try something different. And then that's when your owners are asking questions. That's when you have that dialogue, like the players just wasn't good enough. And that's when you can start talking about give me a bigger transfer budget and all of this sort of stuff. Like there could just be a little bit more back and forth and a little bit more dialogue with owners and director of football.
But I think as well, if you expand upon the interview, because I do think there needs to be more dialogue. I know some people will be saying there needs to be less communication. I think it's better communication within the game, isn't it?
In right areas,
those conversations
in the right time.
Feel like they're actually appropriate. But you could even have for job interviews, and maybe I'm on a slightly separate point and trying to crowbar it towards what I've talked about here. But say you're in a relegation battle, right? You've just sacked a manager. There should be an increased likelihood of certain managers being interviewed because they are experienced at relegation battles, or they approach you because hey, look, you know what? This is kind of your bag, or we need someone who can just take us to the next level. Or you do great in playoffs, you know, we've basically come to you.
It needs to be like an expansion on the manager traits. You know, on your manager profile, that it will say things like, has no domestic buy. Oh no, not even that, but like it will be like uses loan market quite a lot, or you sign a lot of under 21s for the first team, stuff like that, but like more expanded. So as you say, it'd be like has saved teams from relegation in the past, or is a promotion specialist, or is a specialist in the lower league specifically. I know that would get you a little bit typecast, but I think it's also quite realistic when you look at certain managers. They have certain reputations. Sam Allardyce, for example, was always seen as a guy that has never been relegated and all that kind of stuff, right? So that happens in real life because of football media or whatever. But if that was just translated into the game, you know, there's those guys that are just known as, he plays good football. Yeah, but he's not won anything. But he plays good. Roberto Martinez, for example, for the longest time was seen a bit like that. I think that would be cool if they just expanded on that a little bit more. And I'm sure that wouldn't be too difficult to trigger, I guess, since it knows that stuff. Just have a few things like, if you get a couple of promotions, maybe it's like a playoff specialist, potentially. Stuff like that. Just be really cool.
Yeah. Or would you play your games then with less pressure? So like, you know, right now we play Football Manager, right? And a lot of us, not everyone, but a lot of us are playing to win. Like we have this thing like we just need to win sort of thing. But having this sort of like story, like you are that sort of manager that just plays well, but don't necessarily win trophies. As a human player playing the game, do you feel like, would you play the game with less pressure? Like for my story, I don't actually need to win sort of things. My focus is playing good football and keeping up with that reputation sort of thing. So you are becoming a bit of one of those managers that I'm just happy with playing nice football.
Exactly, though. Combine that with, like, say, those sort of flavour events and the life event stuff. All of a sudden, it's no longer just like a min-max game where you're just trying to basically sign every wonder kid, max every attribute out and go to the Champions League final. Suddenly it's more about the story that you're creating. And I feel like with FM, that's the sort of marketing guff that they love, because they do say this every year, tell your story. And it's like, yeah, but you're not really telling the story, because the story seems to be the same every time. And I feel like this would help
43-1.
Yeah.
I'm already anticipating a few people in the comments or maybe out there. So I'm going to say it's a toggle, right? Much like your world, real world, original world. Mm-hmm. It's a toggle. Like, do you want dynamic storytelling, whatever we call dynamic manager story, or do you want simple?
I think it's just. So I don't necessarily think it should add more time. I think certain things.
No, but some people will want a pure experience just full of numbers.
Right.
That's why they tune into Football Manager.
But that's just part of Football Manager, right? Like, there's certain things in the game right now, right? Like, your players complaining. So we're not necessarily saying like remove those sort of things. We're just saying improve that experience sort of thing.
Make those experiences worth doing rather than skipping.
Yeah.
But I think
when I'm having those conversations. When I'm having those conversations, there's an actual consequence or there's a possible reward at the end of it. Or you can just press decline like many people do. You can just press decline in their system manager or whatever.
System does it.
I guess this is the point, isn't it? Some people don't play long enough to see a new stadium get built, but we know it's in the game. And it's in the game for people who do play long enough to get a stadium built, or people who do have seen players come out as gay. We know it's in the game because we've seen it. Or people can have sons. Can they potentially have daughters going on?
I don't think that's in the game anymore. No one's seen that in about 30 years. That thing.
Well, apparently it's there. So someone must have seen it. I had it in British Steel. But that was 2 years ago now. Well, 2 games ago now. Sorry, not 2 years ago. So it could be one of those things where it's in, but you got to play it for a while for it to really make effect. And I guess, a comment of incredibly loyal manager would only really apply to someone who plays for 10 seasons and doesn't really move clubs. Or journeyman. It would, and if you're telling a journeyman story, for example, or build a nation, you could then, it could be part of your description, journeyman manager. Yeah. Like, it's literally already, the game has worked out, you move clubs a lot.
I do hear what Si's saying. Because I think one of my worries was as well, like, for those players that are working all day, come back, kids have gone to bed, and now they've just got this little few-hour window. They don't really want to spend half of that clicking buttons that's not putting them into a match or is making them sign a player sort of thing. So I do hear it, but Football Manager at this point is at that stage, right? Like, I don't feel like I could just open Football Manager and then just press continue quickly. There's always like this message and that message and this stop and that stop. So if the plan is to have these sort of things in the game, then I feel they can expand on it, because at the moment it doesn't really. I don't feel there's much consequence when I'm pressing these buttons, or nothing comes out of it. I might have like a little morale, little boost, but I don't really notice it, to be honest.
I think it would give meaning to areas of the game that perhaps don't have a lot of meaning. I feel like even with press conferences is always the example, but I actually feel like it's the player interaction side of things that, if anything, is more interesting and has more potential to be interesting. Because your manager can spout all sorts of nonsense in the press in the game, but it's like nothing really matters. But players getting upset with you has a real impact on, be it morale, players wanting to leave, all that sort of stuff. If they could just make that area of the game, because it feels like it's the area of the game where it's easy to feel cheated more than any other area, because something will randomly happen that's totally out of your control in there, but it always feels like you have no correct answer to get out of it, which is sometimes true in real life, but in FM, the way that it portrays it always feels like you're just being cheated, and that it's just like FM bullshit, as people would say, right? And I'd like them to find a way around that where it's rewarding, even if it's negative, because it's added something to the story, rather than just your players kicking off for absolutely no reason and just affecting your season negatively with no real payoff as far as intrigue or interest. It's just, this has happened again, for crying out loud, Like, you don't feel like you have the skills to change that situation. Like, it's just going to happen no matter what you do, no matter what attributes you have, no matter what the player is, what his personality is, no matter whatever outcome the Football Manager wants to have. And you don't really feel like you can influence any sort of change. It feels like it's more about your attributes than theirs. Like, you have a meeting with a player and it's like, if you've got low dealing with players or whatever, this guy could be the nicest lad in the world and he's still going to come out of that meeting wanting to punch you. But if he was like a mercenary personality who's desperate to leave the club, they have the exact same reaction to it. And it's not because of their personality, it's because of the way that your manager's set up. And I just feel like and the button you've pressed, more meshing together of those kind of things, I think would be quite nice. But we'll see.
Well, I mean, what if like press conferences? So this is what I would do with press conferences. Is I would have it. You can have current press conference mode if you are a sadist. Otherwise, you just go with like a pre-match press conference. You get one question, the most pertinent question, right? The most relevant question that's going to have the biggest impact. They just ask you that, or maybe like if there's it could be like, do you want to answer a question about this? Do you want to answer a question about this? You want to answer this one? Okay, that's going to be the question, and then that's it. That's the press conference done. You can get on with the game. Like the problem is now you go in and you get asked 5 banal questions that were the same as the week before.
And you just click second from the left.
Yeah.
As well as it's when the questions like make no sense. So like you've got your 40-year-old, your 40-year-old striker scores 2 goals in like a relegation scrap, and it's like, I wouldn't swap him for Haaland. You're like, you absolutely would. Like you 100% would. You'd swap him for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you'd swap him for literally anybody. Like, what you need, and again, there's going to be people who are going to hate in the comments of this. What you need is even more shit questions in the press conference, right? Like for example, when you turn up at a brand new club, okay, and there's always like, because there's local journals in it, like those sorts of things. Yeah, and I think Rob Edwards got it at Borough a couple of weeks back, and it gets to the end, is have you tried a Parmo yet? Like always that, like, oh, can you do the incredibly specific local reference thing? And you could, and it should be in there as part of like your question set. So when you're like just clicking indiscriminately through and you've responded with, no, that sounds like shit, you then upset the fan base because you haven't read the question properly. Like going, oh no, I will have one, and just have you got a message for the fans? Those sorts of things. Like, it's crap, but it's real, if that makes sense.
Oh, very. It's that sort of tabloidy vibe that exists in every single nation's sports media.
Do you know what my favourite question is at the minute? If you're an international management and you have the draw for the World Cup or the Euros or whatever, it's like, you've been drawn in a group with Germany, Lithuania and San Marino. Germany are your hardest opponents, wouldn't you agree? You're like... maybe, I guess. Have you watched a game of football before?
Yeah. Is there a question in there?
and you get 5 options as well, and it's like,
all of them sarcastic.
You could answer no, right? It's like, yes, of course, Germany are the hardest opponents in there.
Or, as you say, it goes back to that sort of like Russian roulette where you get your players involved and you go, oh, would you like to call a team meeting just before the cup final? That should rouse morale, absolutely. But we all know you never speak to your team before a cup final, because essentially that's like opening the door and going, yous are all shit, bye now. And just
yeah.
I was which position would you like to improve the most? And it's like, okay, which player am I shitting on in pre-season before the season started?
I love that question.
Left back comes out of the meeting. Why are you replacing me, boss?
Yeah. Or it's the one where you go, right, I'd like to talk about the expectations for next year, and you just address the one that you definitely know the answer to, and then you go, I'll be all. Just, none of the players go, is that all? Is that the only reason we're here?
But remember when you couldn't, like, because now in FM24 you can basically go into the meeting because you have no choice, because it's a compulsory meeting. You just go, I have nothing more to discuss, and then they're all like, way! But on previous FMs you couldn't do that. You had to give them something. So you had to give them some nonsense about like,
in my head,
I aim to challenge for the title.
Have they done that consciously, knowing that not everybody wants to be pressing buttons? So they just like had that button there for you, like you could just walk out straight away.
I'd love to see the data on that. I bet you it's like 95% of people just walk in and walk out like Abe Simpson in the burlesque house.
Literally every single time.
I mean, even that, it's like, we finished 5th the last 5 seasons. We've overachieved every season. And then you go, where do you think we can finish the next season? Maybe we can attempt to qualify for Europa League, considering we've done it 5 seasons in a row. Oh, I don't think we can achieve that. You're so unrealistic, boss. We've literally done it the last 5 seasons. No, we should be in a relegation scrap. Right, glad you've got ambition, boys.
Meanwhile, the board are going, hey, we'd really love it if you could win the league that year.
It's like, I'd won that was win a domestic cup, and I was like, what? So the odds of winning a cup are much slimmer than the winning a league, even if I have the quality, because anything can happen in a cup. It's decided by one match. You could just have an off day. Maybe you had a bad curry in the morning, and that's it.
There you go. Another one of those events.
That's dodgy curry, dodgy food. I do want chefs in the game, and I do want nutrition in the game. Well, that's sad, isn't it? Really?
Was it? They were tweeting them out this week, weren't they? Man United we're signing their new chef. Just
here we go,
Fabrizio Romano. Here we go.
Because they sacked all the old ones.
These are actually dinner ladies.
From the local school. The dinner ladies.
Talk about real life. Can we start rejecting offers for players that have a release clause then? Because apparently that's just what's happening these days. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't understand the release clause stuff. I don't know if Football Manager gets it wrong because apparently the other team isn't supposed to know what the release clause is. Whereas I'm in Football Manager, it depends. They're just like, hey, 8 million release clause, just press it to the little triangle shows.
Contracts can have anything in it. So I'm guessing his contract was that teams aren't supposed to know.
Oh, it's like a secret release clause.
That's what I think
I love that. It's like a reserve on eBay.
Yeah. Or they're not supposed to know before entering the deal sort of thing.
I never understand that on eBay though. Just start it at that price. They're like, generates interest. No, it generates pissed off people who bid on your thing and then get told that a reserve isn't enough.
It generates people using Vinted instead.
What about you could have a player agrees transfer in principle, negotiations and transfer fee and all that stuff is going to get sorted out later. Because that's a thing in football now, isn't it? Rather than actually going through the negotiation first, the players already agreed.
But they do, right? That's in the game. See, that's in the game, right? Ask the agent.
No, because I've got to go and do all the work beforehand, unless I'm doing it wrong.
No, you just ask the agent, right? So yeah. That's that ask the agent feature. So if you ask the agent for a player about the availability, then the agent would give you the price, the wage, and then you can respond back something about, yeah, I agree with that. So basically, that's your agreement in principle, right?
It's like the agreeing personal terms bit you saw. It's sort of a bit janky in the way that it's done. I'd like to see them maybe smooth that out. I was going to say,
I think the way it's presented is not necessarily how we are reading it.
Yeah,
a Romano tweet. So I was thinking with Lukonga, I could just be like, I'm very interested in signing you. They gives me everything. Would want a contract, and then I can agree. I can say thanks for the feedback. These demands sound fine, and there's mutual. So we go for the next plan, the next steps.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. There's just a bit of clarity then how it's presented. Yeah,
but this is what we was getting to earlier, right? Is that the way some things are presented, it's just like the game can build on that sort of thing.
Yeah, they have been changing the way transfers work to reflect how they've changed in the real world. This year with the offer out to player, hire intermediaries and stuff. Was that this year or the year before? I think it was this year.
I think that's
this year's intermediary.
That's this year. That was 2 years ago. So yeah.
That's true, yeah. But even that's they were and they've got these partnerships with different, is it transfer room in the game?
Yeah.
And offer out via transfer room. This is all new stuff. This isn't how it used to be done. I was thinking, has a footballer ever been auctioned? But then I thought, well, what if the winning bidder, the player doesn't want to join them?
Technically, all footballers are auctioned.
Maybe
in a loose way, I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
I'd sort of like that if someone came in with a bid and then I could go, because you've sort of got a finer opportunity to go back to someone else and say they've bid this much, you want to bid a bit more.
I think that's how players end up in Saudi Arabia, right? They go with the highest bidder. As simple as that.
You should be able to create a bidding war, but you can't really do it in game before teams get pissed off and pull out, right?
I don't know. If you do it right, you can get some moon money doing it correctly.
Yeah,
you just offer them out, accept the bid, cancel it. Yeah, exactly. Place doesn't load.
Do they not get pissed off if you cancel it?
No, they'll just come back in again. If they've got the interest and they've got the budget. I've had players where I've got I don't know, say they're £12 million. I've got 3 or 4 clubs interested. I'll get one of them who's got some money, accept the £12 million, cancel the others, offer them out for £15 million. One of those other clubs comes back in, cancel the £12 million one. And then after a while, eventually they'll stop coming back in and you have to sort of finagle it a little bit. But you can sometimes get double your money doing that. It's really, really effective.
Accepted, they don't they're like, no, we've previously accepted this amount. Was that only when you're buying?
I think that only happens when you're buying, because then they really do get antsy about it. If you put a bid in and then cancel it for whatever reason, they will just. You have to wait sometimes 3 or 4 weeks before you bid again.
Yeah.
Oh, that was annoying for me. I had so I've literally just had Nonto, first day of the transfer window, saying he wants to leave. Teams coming in to he had a release clause of 79 million, and teams coming in. Actually, some teams were coming in 77 million, and I was like, just give me the extra 2 million, trigger it. I'm going to say no.
Except 77, put a 50% of next sale fee clause in.
That's true, yeah. So they hit the 79, and then he kept rejecting the teams, right? So then it'd be the next team. So I was I needed that 79 million to buy the new player, which was going to be Endrick. I put the bid in for Endrick, and he came back straight away, and he's like, yes, let's sign a contract. I was like, I don't have the money yet to make the Hendrick deal happen.
I literally just about to say that there should be a feature where you can agree with the club that transfers on hold until X player is leaving.
You sort of can, but it's only. But I didn't have the money to even offer the wages, which I would have done if Nonto had.
Was
left.
that thing that adjust budget nonsense?
Yeah, but I didn't have any money to adjust it. So, but if Nonto had left for 79 million, I definitely had the budget to adjust it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, Hendrick's wage was less than Nonto's wage. So it was like...
I think that would be a nice little button feature.
So then I pissed off Hendrick by only offering him £100 a week. Or actually, I just walked away. I just walked away. And then 3 weeks later, Nonto went 10 minutes before midnight. I went in for Hendrick and he's like, no, I'm not. I don't want to come. I don't want to move. I was like, I've just been screwed now by the game. Whereas if I'd have been able to be like, Hendrick, if this deal happens, you can come, right? We want this to happen. Or let me delay the negotiation for the contract. Like we've agreed the price in principle, but I want to delay the contracts. I guess that's kind of what happened anyway. And Hendrick just changed his mind. But
it would be cool if there was a functionality that meant that you could do that, but it meant that you're now at a massive risk of some other team coming in and gazumping your bid. So it should let you do it.
So it's not your deal.
More risky.
A transfer chain. Build up a transfer chain, like houses, right? And then you're all waiting for the first person to kick off, and they leave it too late, and the whole chain collapses.
And as well, if you
just let them pay for wages on Klarna.
I think transfer chains do happen in football, and they do collapse, don't they? That's literally transfer deadline day, excitement. I was excited for transfer deadline day when they added it to the game, and I skip it every year now because it's just more press conferences.
Oh, I don't know. I find it quite powerful. There's some certain things you can do in it that are really, really powerful.
That's the thing.
In the transfer deadline day interface.
Yes.
Do you not just get
goes yellow?
Yeah, but if you press no, it still does the transfer deadline day stuff. You just don't have the press.
But I find the agent offers that are built into it are really, really powerful.
Yeah, you don't get the... Sometimes you might find a decent deal still, but if you actually enter the deadline thing, you can snatch up a...
How can I tell the journalist to piss off then?
I ignore that. I don't think I've ever done a press conference on deadline day. I just do the stuff. I look at the agents, and then
I'm busy.
You'll also get I feel like there's more interest in your players. Yeah,
I want to roll down my window at the end of the day, lean out, and go, "No more deals today." That's my high red.
There was a thing I don't use the feature, and I should use. I've had one experience with it, which was a good experience, and I've never went back to it. I don't know why, but I remember there was a player on loan from Real Madrid that I was chasing the whole window. He's available on loan, chasing the whole window. No one else is available, but I just couldn't afford what they were asking for. And then literally, the last couple of hours of the transfer window, they all of a sudden wanted no pay in no monthly fee, none of that. They just wanted 50% wages, and that was it.
The other thing that it does is this is really niche stuff, but if you are doing a building a nation save, having a league where you've got deadline day switched on as a feature in the pre-game editor, because it's not in all leagues, which is really silly. It allows you to get more players out on loan if you're building a loan farm, because there's more interest in loan players from AI clubs. It's almost like when we think basically my big editor dude basically thinks that the reason that this happens is because when they introduced the feature, it was designed in a way that meant that more transfers happened when deadline day was involved. So what it meant is that when it wasn't switched on in leagues, it was causing less transfers to happen on deadline day as a result of that. So when we switched it on and we did some tests, it was seeing way more transfer activity on that day, and it meant that you could get way more loans out if you had deadline day switched on. So we added it to Malta for that exact reason.
Oh. Jeez.
Ooh. It makes sense. More things. I mean, obviously, the loan farm is tricky enough anyway, but then having to manage, timing as well. It's stressful. What about new leagues? What new leagues are we after?
New leagues. World Cup. It's a World Cup year, next year. Well, this season coming up.
God, you talk about the international thing. Oh Lord.
Not Club World Cup.
Club nonsense. I was like, please, no.
I assume that just comes with it, but that'll be in the game, though.
I know, but
I guess,
God,
at the minute, international football's not in the game, right? We don't know where it's at from FM25. Some things could be back in, maybe not. So until we know what's coming back, or
but
when it's
coming back.
Are we
possibly in a world then where in a World Cup year, there's no World Cup in game?
Yes. Do you think someone does it as a mod? Someone does it as a mod, at least. They just make it as a league or something, right?
I don't know. I mean, the tournament would be in the game, but you wouldn't be able to play it. that feels madness, doesn't it?
I think having no international football would be like madness for two reasons. Obviously the World Cup, but also women's football as well. It would just be madness not to have it.
But they were going to have it, so like...
Yeah, but there was sort of a reason, and it was...
25,
there was sort of a reason,
it?
yeah, like... Okay,
the reason was it's not that fun, but like just...
Like, you didn't have the time to do it. You don't really have that excuse right now.
Yeah, I suppose it has to be back in. I mean, I want it back in. Like,
and it would have been for FM25, right? So there's still that, okay, maybe not for the World Cup, but it has to be in the year after. Which
do you think Saudi League's in?
I don't know why I'm doing that because I love it when they come
there's
into my
big
players, so I
players
take
in the
that back.
Saudi League. There's big players in the Qatari League. There's big players in the UAE. There's big players in Egypt. There's big like these like 4 or 5 leagues. You know, they've got big players playing in them now.
I would like some more African leagues.
To Vietnam.
I want to play Hearts of Oak in Ghana and play as Solimentari, age 50. I think he did retire now. No, it was about 2 years ago. He joined Hearts of Oak in Ghana, in Accra. But he is Ghanaian, but he was very old. I think he only lasted like 6 months. Why that will make you laugh, Aaron?
I don't know why. I think I saw a picture of him playing. I was like, yeah, he does look a bit.
He looked old when he was playing for Portsmouth, to be fair. He was only like 23. But me and Aaron actually had this conversation the other day about, there is a big thing at the minute about African football. It's always been a thing, African footballers in their actual ages. So, like, yeah, it's interesting to see him go and play. I think did Kanu. To be fair, Kanu was at Portsmouth about 5 years after his last game. Even after we went bust, I think Kanu was hanging around. Like, he's just taken away. He's like, I'm on the books, lads. Can't get me off.
Like, cheers, Kanu. Up in the kitchen.
I know. Yeah, he's like Sol Campbell trying to sue the club, and Kanu's like.
Kanu's representing them in court.
Ben Jani came back as well. Like when we were down in League One, he just re-showed up at one point.
To do what?
Play football.
All right. Okay, no, I
don't know if he did.
It's just in the crowd.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, similarly, Limvoy Primus re-showed up at the club to be the club chaplain for a little while. So yeah, maybe that's a post-career.
Yes.
Like a club chaplains.
You get like, you know how you got like staff attributes and player attributes. You get like
back up to your just imagine a player just like, wait, Burkhardt, where you come from?
You just get a trait when they're turning like 37, just says at one with the Lord, and you know they're ready.
Born again.
I'll be back.
Regen.
New gen.
Do you think like maybe like footballers, you know, like in WWE, they sign the wrestlers to like legends contracts. Maybe they should do that with footballers. Just like they just wheel them out for like charity games and stuff like that.
I maybe they games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
those are so cool.
Do they not have those technically in the testimonials? Because some of your players do get called back, don't they?
Yeah, I know like five-side pitch.
I've got the league. The Ballers League.
Get the Ballers League in. Yeah.
Wow.
That could work, couldn't it?
Angry Ginge, get him in there.
Yeah, you could have it so that if you're in like a national league club or something, one of your players just gets randomly poached by the Ballers League or something, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
He just shows up at Ballers League and gets in a fight with KSI. You know,
that would go back to
two-footed by iShow speed.
Yeah, but that would go back to all your player traits, wouldn't it? Like, you know, a bit showy off. You know, he's a bit above himself. Oh, he's gone off to the Ballers League. You know, that's where he is now.
Because he showed up at Ballers League.
Yeah. Or
said he was visiting his dying ground instead.
Go one step further. Matt, you and I spoke about this a couple of weeks back. Go one step further. Get the NFL. Franchise the NFL in, right? If you're managing Tottenham, 2 of your league matches have to be changed because the Denver Broncos are in town.
I mean, that's actually happening to AC Milan and Inter Milan.
There you go.
You know this, right?
And
the winter, I was
well.
say the Winter World Cup. The Winter Olympics is going to be in Italy, I think. I might got that wrong. Or the Winter Athletics Championship or something.
Yeah, the Winter Olympics next year is in Milan, I think.
It is the Winter Olympics. Okay, so they're using the San Siro. So Inter Milan and AC Milan are going to go play games in Perth, Australia, which, you know, nice and easy for everyone to get to.
Yeah.
There's something weird going on with Perth. I think there's definitely something weird going on with Perth. Because, you know, like with Saudi Arabia, and you see like event shop at Saudi Arabia, I think there's something similar going on with Perth because they suddenly get like all the WWE events, like other big events are suddenly happening in Perth, Australia, which is so far from anything else. Like even other parts of Australia are not near Perth.
Are you implying that they're in the pocket of Big Perth?
Yeah, well, they are.
Good night, mate. Sorry.
I know, it's like...
I've been dying.
I had an argument because I was like,
Yeah.
Perth can't even fill their own stadium when it's their own matches. You know, maybe they should focus on that. And it was like, oh, well, they're bottom of the league. And there's no relegation in A-League. They're like always bottom of the league. Why would anyone go watch them? I'm like, well, because it's your local team. Like, you know, support your local team and maybe they'll do a bit better rather than hoping Italian Milan teams come over.
Maybe they're hoping they'll just like not be able to leave. So their new team is now AC Milan. I don't know if you guys have seen this, that a Serie C team called, I can't remember the pronunciation, but basically Brescia was supposed to be dumped into the fifth. Yes. And they've basically just gone, no, actually we'll have them. A yoink, pop them back in the city or whatever. Yeah. And now they're Brescia. They're called like Union Brescia. That's crazy behaviour, by the way.
I know.
Imagine that. It's just like into Perth.
Do you know what the key part of that sentence was? In Italy. That was the key part there, wasn't it? Once you said in Italy, all bets are off. And then it just made complete sense. Going,
the C stands for corruption.
Yeah. As does the A, B, and D.
I do feel bad for Ferro Pisalo fans because they've worked there. Ferro Pisalo. Salo is the town. Ferro Pisalo. It's like they like work their way up to Serie C.
I'm just watching it. Aaron's just got no
like,
further to that.
No what country?
It's like,
Italy, third division.
You know in Friends when
they were
like
in Serie C
Phoebe teaches
playoffs
Joey
a few years ago, and like they showed up to. So they had their playoff match against Palermo. And the playoff match was like around the date. This is going into my real job a little bit. They've had their match on the date, like about the mafia and stuff. They
Sign the mafia.
He did that before. I was like, wait, whoa.
Wait,
He's going to catch one right now.
Oh, good God.
Here we go.
Say hello to my little friend.
So like 29th of March 2022, like in 1991, these two, 91, I think I might, 91, no, 92, sorry, 92. These two judges were killed. They were like, by the mafia, they were like anti-mafia judges. So they showed up to the match, like in the shirts with the faces of, as a sign of respect, not to like intimidate the Palermo players.
I'm starting to get scared myself. I'm looking at my doors tonight.
So like they became like friends, the two teams after that. Palermo won and ended up back in Serie B. But yeah, I thought it was just like a nice touch. Like they changed their whole shirt to like honor these, because the airport in Palermo is named after them as well. Which I thought, that was like a nice little touch. And now I just think, oh, they're gone now. Brescia's like, yeah, we're bust. We'll have your team. Thanks.
Oh, what were you doing about the two dudes? It's like, oh, they're gone now.
The flights out of the airport are so cheap because they make you an offer they'll never refuse.
Oh, they're gone now.
No, the two guys were killed, blown up.
Yeah, now they're gone now.
Yeah. Falcone and Borsellino.
Did you pack your bag yourself? So I ain't saying nothing.
Bags full of, the shoes were full of cement.
Yeah, pilot, wise guy, huh? Wise guy. We'll be fine.
They're not from New York. Jersey. This is Sicilians. Anyway, it's a controversial topic, so we probably shouldn't.
Bit too late.
Serious
We've
time.
been on
Should make mafia jokes.
Yeah. I mean, I'll lose my job,
Thankfully, we sort of tiptoe around controversial subjects. I
mean, it's more controversial because it's my job, but maybe I'm looking for a new job now.
It's only controversial if people who are connected to the mafia are still an hour into a Football Manager podcast. Good. Now they're talking about us.
I mean, we can't talk about Italian football and not talk about the mafia. That's the truth, really.
And thank you, by the way, to the mafia for sticking with us for 105 episodes to wait for your reference point.
This episode brought to you by the mafia.
This episode brought to you by You Watch
the episode, isn't it?
You mind your own business. Oh, brilliant.
Don't put them in the game. Don't put them in the game.
I was just about to go there. No? Okay.
So I've been playing Ref Manager, and the whole like plot point of Ref Manager is there's a mafia boss trying to intimidate you, like make you make bad calls in the matches. And I did a good playthrough where I didn't accede to his demands, but I think I'm going to do a bad playthrough where I just let's do it. Let's go corrupt, baby. Let's rig this match.
I mean, there's the clip for the start of the show, isn't it?
Italian football refs can definitely afford super yachts. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's worth pointing out at this part of the show that our network save on Patreon is in Serie A.
I'm Napoli. No comment.
Okay. Any more ideas for FM26 before we go and give ourselves some cold drinks or Aaron fires up the kettle
I think
one more
we
time?
scratched the surface of ideas. This is probably a 6-parter, so maybe we'd like some in the comments that we can respond to, or in the emails, which you can find at Aaron. Email.
The email is the fmshowpod@gmail.com. But if you're too busy to email, you can also check out the Patreon. And the Patreon is patreon.com/the FM Show Pod. Patreon.com/the FM Show Pod. And you guys can support us from as little as £3. And you can see some match fixing over there in our networks.
I mean, look, Aaron, that was beautiful. You promoted the Patreon wonderfully. Although you did advertise it as, if you're too busy to email, why not watch more content? I love the reverse psychology
email,
going, I'm far too busy to email. I think I'm going to sign up to watch the network save instead.
Press more buttons to Patreon, yeah?
I mean, they can come support us in person on the 16th of August at Arbor Park.
I was going to say, we got a show?
11:30. No, there's no live show. There's no live show this year. This is our live show this year. Charity match. 11:30 a.m. Slough Arbor Park. And tickets also include a Slough match. I mean, if you still want to watch that,
it's the friendlies that day. Ever. It's not a Slough match of your choice. I should probably point that out as well.
They're playing Hemel Hempstead, so that's a posh area.
Big one, yeah.
Or if you just want to go and see where The Office was filmed, that's in Slough as well. So go and wander around there.
Legoland's nearby too, and I was about to say the Queen lives around the corner, yeah, but maybe she doesn't anymore. Wait, is there a new Queen?
Is there a new Queen?
Is she called the? No, because I actually don't know. Is she called the Queen? I can't remember what was this. There was a big hubbub like 15 years ago when they got married.
Royal Consort or something. There's a word like that.
Consort,
not onsort.
Royal
Onslaught.
Jesus Christ.
Royal Consort. Queen Consort.
Royal Onslaught sounds like a posh meal, doesn't it? I will be serving your Royal Onslaught.
Queen Camilla.
Just corgi.
Yeah,
oh, my days.
Corgi.
Seriously working up a sweat now.
Yep, you can visit Legoland too, but come watch the charity game. Just leave the kids at Legoland like for a couple hours. Come watch the charity game. Pick them up at the end. It's like a daycare, basically. Legoland. You won't get arrested for leaving them there or anything.
They'll all get driver's licenses.
Yeah, they do get driver's. I've still got one, I think.
Yeah, me too.
I've been using it ever since. Legally binding. So yeah, come watch the charity game. All in aid of Mind Charity.
That's Mind Charity, everyone. Just. I mean, you've really undersold that there. Mind, mental health charity, no, not just mind charity. But yes, come and support the great cause. Come and see us out of shape content creators try and take on some fans of Slough who probably all have Pure Gym memberships and are roofers. So run rings around us and we'll be sat there going,
no, wait, it's the cast of The Office, isn't it? Ricky Gervais,
Oh my days.
Could you imagine if it was the cast of The Office that showed up?
I think we'd still go
We might have a chance.
I think Mackenzie Crook can kick a good overhead kick. He's the Zlatan of the Office world.
Finchy can throw a shoe over a pub. So
Mackenzie's Office.
Mackenzie Crook, not Mackenzie. Mackenzie's an artist. He's from Swindon. That's the rival place.
I think Mackenzie's a good flag.
He's a Swindon lot.
Again, that's why I was a slug. The Swindon Slugs. All our slugs. Come to that or support us on Patreon, either or if you really have loads of time on your hands, send us an email. But comment below all your wish list for FM26. This will be another episode of FM26 wish list probably next week. So
an episode dedicated at least to graphics, right?
100%. An episode even dedicated to FM next time, promise you. Not a legally binding contract. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe. Check out all the socials. And see you next week. Bye now.
Toodles.